First of all, let me introduce myself. That I am Khushi Kumkum, your physics teacher, and it's our first lecture. So I really wish it would be a very good and beautiful journey for both of us. I have few expectations from you, and I really want to fulfill whatever expectations you guys have for me, right? So the first thing is, I feel as an NEET aspirant, you're supposed to be very responsible about your syllabus, about the DPPs, about the lecture notes, and all the pre-work, right? So this is something that I really expect you guys do that for me, for yourself, basically, not just for me. I mean, is it okay now if I said go and do these few questions, like 5 or 10 in the end of the class? So those would be your homework questions, right? Daily practice problems. So that is something which you have to do no matter what. And I really want you to maintain a book or something, some kind of analysis you should do at your own end, that what kind of DP, how many questions have you done to a chapter or topic, aapne kitna kiya, what is the weightage of that topic, what is the requirement of that topic. For an example, let's go with this units and dimension. We are going to deal with this, right? It's the first chapter, and to be very honest, this is the very important chapter. It holds 8% when it comes to weightage. Okay, so I want you to do one thing. Please maintain a formula sheet. Okay, formula sheet is what? I give you the entire lecture. Ki units and dimension is this and that and that. We have completed that chapter. For an example, just for an instance, just feel ki humne ek chapter complete kar diya. After that, I want you to jot down few points, right? Ki this chapter holds 5 important formulas. Ma'am said कि ये वाले 5 formulas से question आएगा. So make sure you have those 5 formulas in that formula sheet. Because see, it's very human, tendency that you cannot revise 40-50 page wala lecture, but you can revise 4 or 5 sheets. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that's a promise, right? Ki you will do that. You will keep a formula sheet. You will do all the DPPs. You will do PYQs, everything, right? That's a promise.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now you said it on the recording, so you cannot turn your back on this one. Okay? It's final. कि आप लोग ये करने वाले हो, and it is required to. So let's start our first chapter, which is units and dimension. Today is 0, 5, and 12. I'm very bad with the dates, so please, just ignore it. And let's start with the objective slide. As I said, this is very important for our NEET exam, as it holds 8% of the weightage, which is a very huge percentage. You cannot ignore this chapter. And plus, this chapter has multi-dimensional use. Why I'm saying multi-dimensional? Because it is not just confined to this chapter only. If I have a question for you, let's say, just for instance, I said, what is the force in this scenario? I gave you mass and everything. I want you to calculate the force. And I gave you 4 options, out of which, let's say first option is V into displacement. Let's say the second option is just displacement. Third option is M into A. And fourth option is, let's say, P into A, where P is pressure. For time being, just assume this thing that you don't know F is equals to MA, but you know one thing, and that is the units. So can you do the calculation of units and tell me which one option is for force?
Option C.
Option C, right? This is something that you have done only on the basis of units. I don't have any other concept, any other formula, any other thing. I just know the dimension and I just solve it. There are many questions in your exam who holds this kind of behavior, right? So it is a multi-dimensional use wala chapter. And the another thing which I love about this chapter is it has a high question to concept ratio. Now what I just said, question to concept ratio, it means here we have few number of concepts to learn, but the question on corresponding to those concepts are very large. So this is a plus point as a competitive exam or as an aspirant. This is a very plus, positive point for us. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Cool.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, as I said, a huge amount. You cannot ignore it. Okay? So, let's start with a very beautiful explanation what Richard Feynman said about physics. He said, okay, let's consider this is a chess board and here are two players. Okay? We have two players. This is the chess board. And there are a lot of chess pieces. Okay? So, there are in this situation we have an observer over here, right? And here are few people who literally have no idea what is going over there, right? But these are few people. That four people, the char log of the community, they are those four people who don't have any idea what is happening over there, and something is going on, and they just want ki theek hai bata dena kya chal raha hai. So in this chess game, there are a lot of chess pieces. So you just observe one. This observer observed one and said ki that one chess piece move forward, and whenever it has to, eliminate some chess piece, it do it diagonally. So what this observer observed, that there is a chess piece, something I don't know much about chess, but this observer observed that there is a chess piece who walks straightly. ठीक है, जो straight direction में चलता है, बिल्कुल कोई इसका कोई deviation नहीं है, move करता है in the forward direction. This observation is noted by these four people through this observer. Okay, observer observes something, these people noted it down कि ठीक है, there is a chess piece which moves forward in the game. Now this observer observed this second phenomena कि whenever this chess piece has to eliminate the other chess piece या opponent chess piece, what it do, it eliminated it diagonally eliminate करता है. Then observer said कि listen, there is a modification, whatever you just wrote, just do some modification under it. कि this chess piece walks straightly in the straight direction, but it eliminates diagonally. Are you getting my point? What is happening over there? There are two people who are playing chess. The one person is observing it, and the other four people are just trying to understand it through this observer. Is it okay?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
miss.
Okay. So this is the world, actually. Richard Feynman said this chessboard is nothing but your nature. Right? There are so many random events going on in our nature. This observer is nothing but just a scientist, a physicist who observed these phenomena, right? Who noted down all the patterns and everything. And through this scientist, we are understanding this entire world. That's how Richard Feynman defined the physics and this physical world. Is it okay? Is it amazing?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Now, in order to understand this entire world, or to be very honest, in order to understand this physics, we need to get the idea of few quantities. Just understand that physics is a subject, although it's a subject. So these physical quantities are the most important language. It is the most important language which you should know in order to understand physics. For example, okay, just I give you the chance. Just tell me what is physical quantity, and then I will tell you. What do you mean by physical quantity?
These quantities are not dependent on any other quantity.
Okay.
Can be
Quantity which
measured
can be
directly.
measured is known as physical quantity.
Very nice, Anushka. It's Anusha, right?
Ma'am, but my name is Lavanya, ma'am.
Lavanya. Okay.
It's my sister.
Lavanya.
Thank you.
Okay. She said कि whatever the quantity that you can measure is physical quantity. ठीक है? All those quantities that you can measure are known as physical quantities. Okay. Can you give me the examples?
Length,
Time, temperature,
mass,
size.
time, temperature.
Very nice. Very good. So, yeah, there are a lot of things like length, velocity for that instance, right? There are many examples. That's cool. Okay. So we understand physics through these quantities. Now, this physical quantity actually represented in this form. Physical quantity is equals to n times of u. Now, n is a numerical value and u is some kind of comparison. You are comparing two things, right? U is some kind of comparison. Just for an example, I take two people out of this class. Let's say Lavanya, and I'm sorry if I wrote your spelling somewhat
It's
different
okay,
because
ma'am. It's okay.
because I'm very good at spellings and dates and everything. So yeah. Okay, so we have Lavanya over here, and let's say another one. Which one? Kalpana. Okay. So for example, Kalpana just bought 10 pens. Okay. She bought 10 pens. Then I asked Lavanya, ki, how many pens have you bought? She said ki, two times of Kalpana. What she said? Two times more than Kalpana. So do you get this point? This two time is a numerical value. And when I said ki, more than Kalpana, so Kalpana is the unit over here. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. It's a sort of comparison. So actually, that's how you define a physical quantity. For example, if I said ki I have this pen and it's a 1 meter, let's say, okay. So here what I said 1 meter. One is the numerical value, and this meter is actually that I said one time of the 1 meter basically. If I said 2 meter, so it would be two times of 1 meter. Okay. So this meter is the unit, and n is the numerical value. There is if I said ki length of a pen is 1. And I didn't mention any kind of unit. So it's completely nonsense. It does not make any kind of sense. Okay, you have to mention the unit for sure. Is that okay?
Okay, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. Now, can you tell me the types of physical quantities?
Scalar
If you have any idea.
quantities,
Fundamental quantities and derived
fundamental
quantities.
And derived
quantities,
quantities.
and derived
Fundamental
quantities.
quantities and derived quantities.
Okay. Fundamental quantities.
Derived quantities.
Derived quantities.
Any other category over there?
No.
Okay. Actually, there is a category over here. ऐसे आ जाती है. That is supplementary quantities. We will read about it later on. But let's focus on fundamental quantities. As its name suggests, something which is very fundamental in its nature. You cannot further divide it, right? It is the basic one. By multiplying it, by dividing, you get the derived quantities. But fundamental is something which is very basic. Okay. So how many fundamental quantities do we have?
7.
7.
Very nice. I'm just okay with all that information which is relevant to my paper, right? For my NEET exam. I'm not going to study anything which is not, relevant to it in any sense. So for me, it's okay if you remember it's 7 quantities, it's length, mass, temperature, whatever that 7, items would be there. But that's it. Don't, add so much information or so many things because I really want you to stick on the path which we have and the target, the need. Okay? So just stick to that thing. So that's good. You said 7. Very nice. That's cool. Derived quantities. What sorry?
Many.
Right? Yes. So let's say I said ki length is a fundamental quantity. And if you multiplied length twice, like this, I mean, not twice, like this, 2 times, you will get the area. So area is not the fundamental quantity since you subdivide it into length wala cheese. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Okay. Here we have two things. Units is something which I already told you, and this is measurement. So basically, when I said, let's say I have this scale or something, measure its length. So basically, the comparison of physical quantities with the standard of same physical quantity is something measurement. So you just don't go with this definitions. I just write it over here to give you a nice notes. Otherwise, the basic idea is if I said ki bhai just measure this thing. So what you will do? You have something in your mind that 1 meter is this much, and it is twice of it or half of it, right? That kind of thing. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, this is something which I already told you. Just go through this definition and let me know. Is it okay? Can we move further? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here you have the set of fundamental quantities. Right? This length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, amount of substance, luminous intensity. That's it. Just remember the units also: meter, kilogram, second, Kelvin, ampere, mole, and candela. Okay? Am I okay with
Yes.
this table? Take care. Let's come to the derived physical quantity. As I already told you, it could be velocity. What is the formula of velocity? Velocity क्या होता है?
Displacement upon time.
Very nice. It's Harshada, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, nice. Displacement upon time. Okay. So displacement is something which is a kind of length. Time is t. Both of them are the fundamental quantities, and while you divide them, you got this velocity. So velocity is a derived quantity, right? I mean, this much example is fine. We don't need to go further deeper down. Supplementary physical quantity is something which I want to know. Do you have any idea what is supplementary physical quantity?
No, ma'am.
Anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Supplementary physical quantities are those quantities who have units but no dimension. It's a special class of physical quantities. They have units, but there is no dimension. Okay. There are actually two types of supplementary quantities, or two quantities lying under this condition or under this criteria. The number one is, Hanji beta, acha, Ohm wrote something. Okay. It's angle, and the other one is solid angle. Okay. The unit of angle is radian. That's simple one, which we have. This is the arc. This angle is theta, right? This theta is radian. And just assume a cone, like something like this cone. So can you imagine this 3D angle? This 3D angle. If this is the cone, so this 3D angle. This is the solid angle, right? Is it okay?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am.
The unit of solid angle is steradian. So it has unit but no dimension. Please remember it. Okay? Remember it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Let's come to the dimensional analysis. So dimensions are the parts to which the fundamental units are raised in order to express the derived unit of a quantity. Okay. If you are okay with this definition, then just let me know the rest. I'll explain you. No matter what, I'll explain you. But first go through this
Okay, ma'am.
definition. Gayatri?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. See, dimensions is something like x-axis, y-axis. X-axis is one dimension. X-y-axis is two dimension. X-Y-Z-axis is three dimension. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So somehow
Yes, ma'am.
dimensions are related to that kind of thing. Not exactly, but in a context. Just wait a minute. Someone is trying to get in. Yeah. So not exactly, but you can get the idea out of it. For an example, I said ki there is a quantity, let's say force. Force is mass into acceleration.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And Let's say mass, the dimension of mass is m. Acceleration is velocity by time, right? Velocity is displacement by
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
So just collecting all those things, it would be LT minus 2. Okay, L is corresponding to length and T is the dimension of time. So this is the dimension of force. Now, what do I get out of it? I think I'm getting it in the dimension, yeah, or in the direction of mass, just move, you know, unit. Move one in the direction of mass, move one in the direction of length, and move minus two in the direction of time. And whatever the quantity you get, that is your force. Do you get the idea? What I just said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is the actual meaning. But what are we going to deal with the questions or the paper, vagera? That is key. If I said calculate the dimension of force, yeah, I'm coming, Rehana. Just wait for a minute. If I said, what is the dimension of force? So you have to answer me, ma'am, it's MLT minus 2, like this, in this specific order, right? You have to put the square brackets, you have to write it like this. Am I okay with it? I mean, you are okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rihanna, just wait for 2 more minutes. I'll come to you. Let me write the dimensions over here. Length is represented as, the dimension of length is like this. L within the square brackets. M within the square brackets, and similarly like this. Okay. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you write temperature as K, or sometimes you can also, where should I write it? Here. Sometimes theta will also work. Okay. And this candela is actually C. This is mole. Okay. Remember these representations. Now, Rehanna, please ask the question.
मिस एक्चुअली मैं लेट ज्वाइन कर रही हूँ तो इससे पहले जो कुछ भी हुआ है उसके लिए सर ने कहा था कि रिकॉर्डिंग क्लास मुझे मिल जाएगी.
Yes. There is a sheet in your group's description, I guess. So you will get the notes, DPP's sheet, the recording link, everything over it. Okay?
मिस में कुछ भी नहीं है.
नहीं है?
नहीं मिला है मुझे.
I think you were added in a group now. WhatsApp group.
Yes.
So just check the description of that group. Okay. I'll sort it out after the lecture. Is that okay, Rehanna?
Yes, miss.
Okay. हाँ, तो dimensional analysis okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here I have few questions for you. So let's say question number 1. Any physical quantity, PQ is the short for physical quantity, right? Which has dimension but no unit. Okay? And then question 2, actually we have to answer the answer that physical quantity over here. Then question 2 for you, name any physical quantity which has neither the dimension nor the unit.
मिस क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 का आंसर स्ट्रेन है.
Okay, that's cool, Rehanna. Actually, one more thing, since it's our first class, whenever I ask you a question, I'll give you time, right? It's like for right now, it's 18:14 right now, and you will answer me on 18, in between 18:16. So I'll ask after this time, how many students solved the question. So you just have to raise your hand virtually, okay? And then I'll ask you. so that everyone has a fair chance to solve it. Okay, so this question is goes to Rihanna. She answers it very well. It's a strain. Those who don't know, strain is the ratio of change in a quantity. Okay, upon original quantity. Since it's a ratio of the same quantity, I mean, if I said ki change in length upon original length, so it's length by length, na? There would be no unit, no dimension. Can you tell me the name of another physical quantity which is under this category? Any other quantity? And now I'll go through the people who raise their hand. There's only one kid. Om. Okay, Gayatri. Rihanna. Come on,
Ma'am, for
Harshida,
first one,
Shikha.
supplementary physical quantity.
What, Gayatri?
Ma'am, for first one, supplementary physical quantity.
For question 1, you are answering this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Just go through the definition of supplementary physical quantity once more. They have unit but no dimension. And I'm asking you, ki they have dimension but no unit. Okay? Please read it carefully. Right, Gayatri?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. ठीक है, so we are left with Rihanna. Rihanna, please बताइए. Rihanna, do you want to share something? No. Okay. So I will answer. But there is no physical quantity who has dimension but no unit. No physical quantity. Okay? And when it comes to this, so Rihanna said strain, that's good. You can also have refractive index under this category because it is also the ratio of speeds. Speed of light in vacuum upon speed of light in some medium. Again, that is not my concern right now. But refractive index is also the ratio of the same physical quantities. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have this principle of homogeneity. I'll give you 1 minute to read out this, to read this thing, not read out. Just read this statement, what I just wrote over here, and then let me know. Do you get it or not? And one more thing which I want to just share right now, this is your class. So make sure you ask the query. Make sure you share whatever you have in your mind regarding this class, regarding the lectures, anything, right? This class, and I am very open to feedback. So I really want you guys to feel very comfortable with this class, okay? So be comfortable. Like, I really appreciate all the doubts and everything. Okay, Abu said, there is no physical quantity which has dimension but no units because units are derived from the dimension analysis itself. I want the contrary, there are some physical quantities which have no dimension but still have it. Very good, Abu. Nice explanation. Even Vijay Kumari said solving a angular velocity. Okay. Elasticity. Elasticity is kind of a tendency. Okay, elasticity is a property. Bacha. Very good, Om. It's a reflective index. Cool. And I really want you make this class very interactive. It is supposed to be bi-directional. I am communicating, you are communicating. So class looks very nice, very energetic. So if that's okay, please open your mic and ask the doubt. Make it interesting. Okay. I appreciate chats also, but it takes a lot of time. And sometimes I, just share my screen. I'm busy over there. Sometimes I miss it. So I really appreciate if you do it, just open your mic and just talk to me. Okay. Are you comfortable?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So the principle of homogeneity states are very simple, very basic, very, very naive thing actually. It said ki 2 seconds plus 3 kg makes no sense. You can add time and time. You can add mass with mass. And similarly with the subtraction also. I mean, this makes no sense now. If I said 3 kilometers plus 2 seconds, What is it? So that's what principle of homogeneity is. You can add or subtract with the same physical quantity. कहाँ पर है? With the like physical quantities. But on the other hand, when it comes to multiplication or division, that can be done with similar or different dimensions. As you just read कि भाई velocity is
आपका
length by
नेटवर्क बराबर नहीं है,
displacement by
वॉइस
time.
सही नहीं आ रही.
Oh, my voice is breaking. Okay, just give me a few minutes. Just give me 1 minute, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll fix it if I can. Okay, is it better right now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, as I told you, velocity is what? Displacement by time, where you divide two different quantities, right? Length by time. So, in division and multiplication, it makes sense. But when it comes to addition and subtraction, you cannot do this. Okay, you have to add or subtract the like physical quantities only. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's practice something. Find the dimension of what? Find the dimension of b in this expression. I'm going to give an expression and you have to find the dimension of b, where v is equals to a plus b t. V is the velocity. Okay. T is the time. And A and B, I don't know what they are. You have to find out the dimension of B. Is that okay? Do you get the idea? What do you have to find? What is the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll give you a few options. Let's say option A is M0, L0, T minus 2. Okay. You have 4 options. I will launch the poll. You will answer it on the poll only.
C और D में L की वैल्यू क्या है?
It's 1. If there is nothing right on the, in the path, so it's 1 naturally. Okay. So I'm going to launch a poll. You will answer only over there. Neither in the chat nor, via mic. Just give me 1 minute. I'll launch the poll. You know now how to access the poll and how to answer it?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool.
No, miss.
Okay, I'll help you. So the poll is 1 minute. Okay. Rehana, do you get a notification? The host started a
Ma'am, option is 4.
Yes, ma'am.
No, Harshada,
Option
you
number
have
4.
to. No, Harshada, you have to answer it on the poll only. I've launched the poll. As I said, please give the fair
Okay,
chance to
ma'am.
everyone. Na? Good.
Okay, ma'am.
Cool.
Sorry.
It's fine. No, that's fine. That's cool. I know it's your first class. So it's 18:23 right now. You have 1 minute to solve this question because I already gave it to you, before 18:23.
उसको ऑप्शन ही हट गया ओपन.
What?
मैसेज आया था पोल के लिए, ओपन करने गई तो ऑप्शन हट गया.
कोई इशू नहीं बचा. एक काम करो. There are 3 dots now. There are linear 3 dots vertically.
Yes.
Click on it.
Yes.
Then you will get the option of activities
हाँ.
in the last. Open it. And there you get the idea. You get this notification that polls. Open it and answer over there.
Yeah.
Okay. सभी को आता है ना पोल पर आंसर करना? Is it difficult to anyone? Okay, that's cool. अगर आपको दिक्कत हो रही है तो जस्ट लेट मी नो, ठीक है, आई विल हेल्प यू कि कैसे आना है।
मैम पोल का समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
हाँ कोई नहीं, देखो बेटा पोल ना एक गूगल मीट का टूल है जो आपको ऑप्शंस दिखाता है। फॉर एन एग्जांपल अभी आप क्या करो, आपके फोन में 3 डॉट्स दिख रही होंगी वर्टिकली,
जी मैम।
आप उन पे क्लिक करो। करा? इट्स इरफान, राइट? आपने किया बच्चे? थ्री डॉट्स पे जाके एक्टिविटीज का साइन आएगा, आप एक्टिविटीज पे क्लिक कर दीजिए।
जी मैम।
ओके, किसी को और डाउट हो तो प्लीज पूछ लो, कोई इशू नहीं है।
जी मैम।
ओके सो आई
मैम
गॉट
पोल
12 13। हाँ जी बेटा, कर दिया?
मैम उस पे गई, किस पे क्लिक करना है? और
वहां पे लिखा होगा ना पोल 1 एक्टिव करके।
पोल, यस मैम।
हाँ, click on that and select the option whichever you feel ki it's okay or it is the right answer. Just
ओके
select that
मैम। जी
option.
मैम।
ठीक है, so it's very nice. I got, come on Irfan, just vote it. आपका नेम क्या है बच्चे?
सना।
सना, okay.
जी मैम।
Okay, that's cool. I'm ending the poll and I'm showing you the result. You can see ki how many people voted for which option. Okay, so I guess B got 4 votes, C got 4 and D got 7. Let's solve
जी
it out.
मैम।
ये कैसे करना है? So यहाँ पर है v is equals to a plus bt. I said v is the velocity, t is the time. Can you write this expression as v is equal v minus a minus bt is equals to 0? Is it okay? I can write it like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I just told you that you can subtract or add only the like quantities. If I am subtracting these a and bt with v, then I think I can write this ki dimension of v is equals to dimension of a and dimension of v is equals to dimension of bt. I can write it like this. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the dimension of velocity is what? Lt minus 1. I know in the starting you feel like how we are going to remember all of these dimensions, but as you go on with your chapter 9 physics, you will learn them eventually. Okay? So there's no need to worry about, just for time being, just practice enough questions. So the dimension of velocity is this, and this is equals to the dimension of A.
Yes.
Is it okay? I don't need the dimension of A, but still I just find it out. Now focus on this second statement, the dimension of V is equals to dimension of BT. So dimension of V is nothing but LT minus 1, and dimension of V is something which you need to calculate. And here is the dimension of time. So just solve it. You will get dimension of B is equals to LT minus 2. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes मैम।
Now the thing is कि in this option we have M also. कोई issue नहीं है. If I want to include M over here, I just have to make sure कि the power is 0. Because anything raised to 0 is equals to 1. Right? Right.
यस मैम।
So you got it as option D. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there is this another question for you, that x is equals to a plus bt plus ct square plus dt cube divided by e plus t. Okay, where x is the displacement and t is the time. You have to find the dimension of a, b, c, d and e. Okay, you have to find the dimensions of all of these quantities a, b, c, d, e. It's 18:29 right now. I'll give you 2 minutes to solve this question. ठीक है? After 1831, I'll ask to raise your hand, and only the people who got the answers, please raise your hand. I'll ask them, name by name, कि किसको बुलाना है, किसको आंसर करना है. उससे पहले please don't answer it on the chat, by opening your mic.
मिस ये क्वेश्चन मुझे कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आया.
Rihanna, your voice is breaking. बच्चे, please come again.
आपकी आवाज प्रॉपर्ली नहीं आ रही.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Am I audible to everyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Rihanna, there is some problem with your network. Kindly refresh it and rejoin the class. Okay. If you want to listen the explanation of this question again, so the question is, you have this expression x is equals to a plus bt plus dt square plus dt cube over e plus t. And the question says ki x is the displacement, t is the time. You have to find the dimension of capital A, capital B, capital C, D, and E. Okay, Rihanna?
Yes, miss.
Okay, cool. Okay, so time is up. Can anyone tell me the answers? Okay, Miss Ba and Shikha and Harshita, that's cool. So let's start with Miss Ba. And please let me correct if I pronounce your name, differently or wrong.
A is equal to L, B is equal to
Okay,
LT minus 1, C is
cool.
equal to LT minus 2, D is equal
Sorry,
to LT minus 3.
D is equals to?
LT minus 1.
Okay, and what about E?
मैम E का नहीं मालूम.
Okay. Then Shikha.
मैम ए का L1, बी का L1 T माइनस 1 और सी का L1 T माइनस 2. डी और ई का नहीं था.
Okay, that's cool. Harshada? Is it different or same?
Dimension of A is M0 L1 T0.
Very nice.
Dimension of B is M0 L1 T raised to minus 1.
Okay.
Dimension of C is M0 L1 T raised to minus 2.
Okay.
Dimension of D is M0 L2 T raised to minus 4.
Cool.
And dimension of E is M0 L1 T raised to minus 1.
Okay. विजय कुमारी, आप बताएंगे? L, LT minus 1, LT minus 2, LT minus 2, 3. ठीक है. Anyone else? No. Okay. So firstly, this is for you. All of you that you have tried. It is important. Right? Attempt the question. In the initial, this is a initial stage of the preparation. This is very important. Okay, at least you try to solve the question. It is correct or not, that is something which you can leave on the teacher, right? But for the first thing, you have to just solve it. You have to pick up the pen and just do it. Okay. So let's start with the explanation. I think I can write it as x minus a minus bt minus wait a second. Actually, I think my screen got stuck. Just wait for a few minutes. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. So minus ct square minus dt cube over e plus t is equals to 0. Right? It is right now. This equation can be written as this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. So, the dimension of x is equals to dimension of a, and you all are right. It is m0 l1 0. Then we have dimension of x is equals to dimension of dt, and L is equals to B ka dimension into T ka dimension, and it would be dimension of B is equals to LT minus 1 and M0. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. Cool. Then dimension of x is equals to dimension of CT square. Again, the dimension of x is nothing but the L. It would be C and then T raised to the power 2. I want the dimension of C. It would be M0 L1 T minus 2. Right? I think
Yes,
many of
ma'am.
you face the, struggle with D and E. Yeah. So let's focus on that. Dimension of x is equals to dimension of
E plus
dt cube over e plus t. Dt cube over e plus t, the entire term. Now just tell me one thing. Please focus on this e plus t. Here you can also apply principle of homogeneity now. Here you can also see if E is adding with the time, then it is only possible if E has the same dimension as time. Right? So this is something which you have to answer within the glance of the question. You just see the question, you have to answer this thing. Hey, ma'am, okay, I'll calculate every other in ABCD, but E is T. Because you are saying E plus T in the expression. So dimension of E is nothing but the T. Right? Okay, there is some punctual student who just try to join the cool. So dimension of E is F0 L0 T is the power 1. Now come back to this problem where dimension of again the length is equals to dimension of D is something which I need to calculate, right? TQ is this over T. Is it okay? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's cool. Then just calculate dimension of T. I think it would be M0 L1 T minus 2.
T minus 2.
Right? I think you get your answers. We get the dimension of A, we get the dimension of B, dimension of C, E, and D. So just tell me one thing, are we okay with this principle of homogeneity?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it right that I give you the questions for
ma'am.
your homework? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
E is equals to half mv square. M is the mass. V is the velocity. You have to find out the dimension of E. Okay, find the dimension of E in this question. It is your homework. You can take the screenshot of this slide. Otherwise, I'll provide the PPT in your groups. And I will show you one more sheet which helps you to find out the DPPs, the class recordings, and notes and everything which you need, from this lecture or from this physics subject by me. Okay, I can give you a ebook section also which you can explore. There are a few PDFs which you can, enjoy and everything. So I'll share that sheet with you in the end of the class. Okay. There is this another question where you have to find out the dimension of this expression P is equals to A minus T square over dx. Okay. Find the dimension of A and T, where P is the pressure, T is the time, and X is the displacement. Okay. Okay. Yes, Divisha? Divisha, you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Haji?
Miss, in the question above, where you said the dimension of D, the T part, I did not understand how it would be -2.
With this question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, here we have t cube over t. Can I write it as t square? Divisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, dimension of d is in multiplication with this t square. If I want to calculate dimension of d, I have to send this t square in the denominator. And I think now it is justified.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Chaliye. To you, uh, that p is equals to e raised to the power minus alpha. Mhm. P is equals to alpha e times of minus beta by z. Okay, where this P is the pressure and this Z is the temperature. You have only these two informations. P is the pressure, Z is the temperature, and you have to calculate the dimension of alpha and beta. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, these are the uses of dimensional analysis, or you can see the application of dimensional analysis. So the first one is we can convert a physical quantity from one system to another. Okay, I can give you key express a quantity, let's say displacement in the terms of force, velocity, and time. So you can do that by this formula. You can check the dimensional correctness of a given physical relation. What do I mean by this? For an example, I tell you key F is equals to 6 pi eta RV. Is it good or not? I'll give you the dimension of eta, I'll give you the dimension of R and V, and I want you to put this, just tell me ki whether it's a dimensionally correct formula or not. So you can do that by dimensional analysis. And the third one is you can establish the relation between physical quantities. For an example, if I say ki I have I have a physical quantity which depends on, let's say, three other physical quantities, x, y, and z. But I don't know how, like x square, y cube, or z raised to the power half. So you can also find it out by dimensional analysis. Any doubt? Any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the last question for today's lecture. Please solve it. I said the force F on a particle depends upon these two factors. Find the expression for F. Although I know we know the expression directly, but just go through the dimension analysis and solve it for me. This is the last thing. Beta, what is the time of your next class? Do you have any other class after this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So can you give me 15 more minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That is so sweet of you. Thank you. Just solve this question.
मिस एफ के लिए ऐसा हो सकता है m/a.
Nana, just check it again. You're very close to the expression.
M into
Yes,
A.
Shikha.
Ma'am,
Okay,
M
Om.
into A.
Very good. Very nice. It's M into A.
Ma'am, M
Now let me. Okay. See, whenever you have these kind of
into A.
questions, you have to do one thing. Just Haji Mishra.
M into A.
Very good. See, force depends on two quantities, mass and acceleration as per this given data. Let's m raised to the power some x and a raised to the power some y. I don't know okay, what is the value of x and y. We will calculate through dimensional analysis. I know one thing that the dimension of f is m l t minus 2. I know that dimension of mass is m L0, T0. And the dimension of A, yani ki acceleration, is equals to 0.1 T minus 2. Is it okay? We agree on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. Just put these values in this above expression. You can write F is equals to some constant and make sure this is a dimensionless constant. Okay? And it is a
Ma'am, your
dimensionless
screen is
constant,
not
I will
visible.
remove it from the picture. Is it not visible? Am I audible to you?
No, ma'am.
No, miss.
Visibility.
मिस आपका शायद नेटवर्क इशू हो रहा है, आवाज नहीं आ रही बराबर से.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, मैंने पूरा मैसेज लिख दिया. ठीक है. So if it is, let me erase it then. Okay. ठीक है. So we have force. Just put these values over here, and you will get m l t minus 2 is equals to m l0 t0 raised to the power x m0 l1 t minus 2 raised to the power y. Okay. Just collect the value of m. From here it is x, from here it is 0. Then value of l, from here you will get y, and t would be minus 2x, right? And compare both sides. So on the comparison, you will get x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. You can check it out, it also, like minus 2, x is equals to minus 2. Again, you get x is equals to 1 from here. So the expression would be f is equals to m raised to the power x, which means 1, a raised to the power 1. Okay, f is equals to ma. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Take care. So again, these are few questions for you. Kindly do it. It is your homework. Okay. And then
Yes, ma'am.
can you please summarize me what you learned through the slide and everything? Can you tell me? Anyone? What we have studied so far?
Ma'am, I learn about
You,
physical quantity, fundamental quantities, and what's
Okay.
about units, and what's about dimensional, and I want to calculate the dimensions of the unit.
Okay, very
That
nice,
sounds
Gayatri.
Principle of
Very nice.
homogeneity.
Very nice, Harshada. Yes, I like this kind of discussion. Now you add points, modify each other. Okay.
Types of quantities, fundamental quantity, supplementary quantity, and derived
Very nice.
quantity.
Very nice. Good. Anything else? I think you covered everything. That's okay. That's cool. This is homework for you. 5 questions, and then you have question number 6 over here, question number 7 over here, question number 8. Okay. And this last one is question 9. So you have 9 questions. This is your DPP. Kindly solve it. Make the formula notes and everything. See, it would be nice for this topic if you make a formula sheet, as I said in earlier of this lecture. Please, because questions are directly formula based. Yes, and I want to talk you about this sheet. Okay, this is a very nice sheet. I put so much work to maintain it. Before that, understand what you will study in the next class. We will talk about significant figures, rounding off, and error. This is very important. So in next class, you have to do this video. You have to study the rules of significant figures and round off. And just solve the numericals. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
miss.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll share this PDF with you, and just before leaving the class, please go through the sheet.